Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster, and welcoming to my channel here, we have Ryan O2. Go ahead, Ryan, go ahead and tell these beautiful people what it is you do.
What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole here on Matthew V. Haynes' channel. Finally, I did a collab with this guy a while ago on the Fast and Furious ranking, and if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Ryan O'Toole. I'm also a movie reviewer like Matt. I do similar things to him. Movie reviews, trailer reactions, Blu-ray updates from time to time. I just love to talk about movies and to also collaborate with friends of mine on YouTube. And I'm excited to discuss with Matt the spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And thanks for having me here, Matt.
It is my pleasure to have you here, man. This movie was so awesome. So it's a great pleasure to talk about this movie with you. So to start this spoiler talk off, you want to go ahead and list any things that you wanted to talk about, particularly from this movie?
Well, just my overall thoughts walking out of the movie. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I really loved everything about this movie. What I loved about the first movie. Just the humor, the characters. It's great to see all these characters back. And it was just funny. The action sequences were top notch. And I just loved all the new elements introduced in the movie. But overall, I didn't think this was better than the first movie. In that retrospect, the first one's great. But this one did have some problems that I walked out of it. Just my overall experience, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can agree with you. And after, because we were talking on, right after we got at the movie, and we were just sharing some of our thoughts, pretty much what you were saying. And I can agree with you now when you say that it may not be as good as the first one. And for me, one of my reasons why it was not as good as the first one, simply for the fact that the villain choice wasn't there. I think in the first movie they had a way better villain. Ronan was a pretty good villain. Just to even see the like 3 minutes we got screen time, we got to see if Thanos was good enough for me. That actually added up more to the excitement. Since we're talking about villains, do you have anything what were your thoughts on Ego as a villain? What were your thoughts on that and the royal, the high priestess and all that kind of stuff? What's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, the whole Ego reveal I thought was pretty good. Kurt Russell overall gave a great performance, but just the whole twist of the movie I did not see coming. Ego killing Star-Lord's mother with the tumor whole thing, that completely blew me away, and so did my whole audience. Just the whole Ego in the second act didn't work for me as a whole. I kind of thought it was kind of boring. There's a lot of heavy exposition scenes with Kurt Russell's character. He's explaining to Star-Lord just his past and this whole planet in general. Just some aspects I liked. The second half, the last act, was just not as good as I wanted it to be. But the twist overall really, I mean, just watching the movie in general, there's a lot of scenes when they're like, saying, like, he says that, "I loved your mother, Peter," and Peter's like, "Then why did you leave her?" He's thinking, something's gonna come up. Just that whole scene where he, Ego reveals to Peter to say, "I loved your mother, but it broke my heart I had to put the tumor through her head," and he's just like, "What? You killed my mother!" I was like, oh man. And it got really intense.
The character that I actually really did enjoy in this film was Nebula. I enjoyed the usage of her and exploring more of her relationship with Gamora. That was, I think that was a cool touch to it.
Yeah, I agree. I watched a good amount of reviews. A lot of people didn't like Nebula for like the way she was used. Like they're saying she's still over the top and just. I like Nebula too. I think she's given a lot more depth like Yondu. You find out why she's the kind of person she is. Being raised by Thanos is not good. Apparently, I didn't remember what happened to Nebula in that. I think I heard something like she always had fights with her sister in battles and that she's always lost or something. But did you sort of hear it?
Yeah. She she kind of spoke about it a little bit throughout the movie, but her and Gamora were always in the competition and all the other siblings, because she mentioned that they have other siblings. I said siblings, so siblings. She had other siblings, and she said that, you know, Gamora always had to be better than her. She always had to be better, and she just wanted to have an older. She just wanted to have an older sister. She just wanted to have someone that she can call her friend, someone who can love her. And Thanos, for every time Gamora would beat Nebula, Thanos would sort of punish Nebula in a way. So that's kind of what was going on with that story. So I mean, I kind of felt sorry for Nebula in a way. And I understood why she became the kind of person she did. And speaking of that, it reminded me of a scene where she shot Rocket down. Now, I love that we got to see more of Rocket do his Rocket thing in this in this movie, man. Any of your thoughts on how they used Rocket in this movie?
Rocket's just as good as he was in the first movie. I think he's even better. He says some funny jokes. That whole scene when they're locked up and the bushy-haired guy, Taserface. Oh my God! I think he called him Scrotum Head or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Rocket's just so good. Bradley Cooper is the perfect voice for him, and also Rocket's given more depth. You find out there's a heart-to-heart scene with him and Yondu. Yondu says to him, "You're just mean." Like, he can't just really... He just steals things for no reason, and I just really like the way they used Rocket. And you see him fight with Star-Lord all the time, that one scene.
Yeah, they used more of... it was more of a development thing going on for all these characters in this movie, for sure. That was really cool, but I did see some people that are saying they had more story than action in this movie. Were you a little bit disappointed that they kind of had more of a story to the action?
Kind of. I mean, I agree. They focused more on the story than having memorable action sequences. The action in this movie's fun, but they're not memorable. The first movie, you remember that prison fight scene. You remember the Xandar battle. You remember all those scenes. Just the only scene I really kind of remember is the space battle near the end or something. Just, there's not really a memorable action scene in this movie, and I kind of found it disappointing in that aspect.
And now, kind of looking back on it, while I enjoyed this movie as a fan, because I read all the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. I still read. There's a new issue that they released last year that I'm still reading right now. That's very, very good. You know, and in this version, Peter Quill is the king of Spartax, because you know his father in the comics is Jason. So, but king of Spartax. But one thing, how I felt about this movie, now that I'm looking over it again, I feel like it was kind of like a filler movie. You know what I mean? Like a filler to Homecoming, which is going to lead up to Thor Ragnarok, which is really going to seal everything, and then kind of bring everything to Black Panther. I'm just feeling it as just a filler film. I mean, opposed to Civil War, which if you were to compare two of them, Civil War and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Civil War definitely goes above it, because it not only, like you said, memorable action sequences, but it had a great story too. You know, when you combine a great story and great action sequences, and you know, just great cinematography and everything. The only problem I had with Civil War was just the coloring issue, but other than that, it was a fantastic film. So I kind of felt like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was more of a filler film. I don't know if you got that same vibe to me, or...
Yeah, in regards to your point on that, I agree. You know, Civil War had more memorable sequences. Like, Guardians 2 didn't have an airport scene that you remembered. I mean, they didn't have memorable, likable characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man in those movies. You really love them and remember them. Just, yeah, I agree. You know, Guardians 2 didn't really have that much of a story to it, which was kind of disappointing. But overall, it's just fun, like the first movie was. Just, it didn't have that much eye-popping of a story.
Yeah, and then, you know, I had a blast watching the movie, to be honest. I was just there, my whole theater, I had a whole big bucket of popcorn, some M&Ms, you know, just sitting down, just enjoying this movie, because it was just so much fun, like you said. You know, as a fan, I decided to turn off my review head and just watch the movie as a fan, and I just enjoyed myself. Just pure fun. I enjoyed every single joke. To me, they were all funny. You know, I had a blast, and the music too was some great song choices. I love a lot of 70s and 80s themed classic rock songs and pop songs, and they use a lot of them in this movie. Just like the first thing, I talked about this in my spoiler-free review, it kind of centers Peter Quill and his identity. You know, I kind of felt more sad when his dad crushed his Walkman. I was like, no, the Walkman.
Come on, man.
His mom gave that to him, man. And so
that's cool.
Yeah, but then he got the Zune. It was no one uses anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man. Couple of things I wanted to talk about before I close off this review. The Watchers. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the Watchers. In the comics, the Watchers, they're pretty important, especially, and I think that's where that big Black Panther kind of thing connects up to everything. I was so psyched to see the Watchers talking to Stan Lee.
Yeah, 2 cameos.
Yeah, it was great. Just to see the Watchers, and then Adam Warlock at the end, setting up for Infinity War, setting up for Black Panther. I think they did a great job at including that, you know, in there.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see those things too. Like, I'm not familiar with the comic books like you are, Matthew. I looked it up as soon as I got home. Adam Warlock and all this stuff. Just that whole scene with Stan Lee, it kind of reminded me of Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was going to appear at some point during that. But yeah, I'm interested to see these characters being introduced. And since you mentioned something about Adam Warlock, the Golden People in this movie, I think her name's Elizabeth Debicka. Why the Golden People even in this movie? They do jack shit. I said that in my review.
Yeah, they're just poor. I mean, the way how they used them wasn't right. They are mentioned in the comics. The royal kind of people, over the top kind of people. They are in there, but they just didn't use them right. To me, they just didn't use them right. And I thought that the fact that I felt they were just getting more in the way of certain things. You're like, why are you showing up? Like you're getting mad because of batteries? Batteries? You're gonna just, and then you have a whole regime and you're trying to start up this whole personal big vendetta over 4 batteries. I'm pretty sure your people can make more.
And the way they're controlling those ships, it's like they're playing an arcade game or something.
It was really fun. That was pretty funny, though, to me. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I haven't seen something like that.
It was great.
Yeah, I agree. James Gunn, I think, didn't know how to use them properly.
Yeah, I think, James Gunn, he did perfect for the first movie. But hopefully the third one is a lot better. And like I said, just as a fun movie, it did its job. Alrighty guys, so I hope you enjoyed our spoiler talk of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If you have seen this movie, which I'm pretty sure you have if you're watching this video, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, I want to say special thanks to Ryan for coming onto this channel to do this discussion with me. It was a very, very, very good time. Any last things you want to say to these beautiful people, Ryan?
Well, Matthew, thanks for having me on here, dude. It's always a pleasure. Fun time doing collabs with you, man. Talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was a blast. And if you guys want to find me on my other social medias, you can follow me on Twitter at RyanO'TooleMR. And I also have a Facebook page, Ryan O'Toole Movies. And of course on YouTube at Ryan O'Toole, as Matthew said. I just do movie reviews. It's been a blast talking with you, Matthew, and I can't wait to do the next one with you, man.
Yes, it was a blast, man. Once again, guys, you can check out Ryan. His link is right up there. I put it up earlier in the video. You can click it right there and go ahead and subscribe and show him some love. Ryan and I actually, very soon, a video will be dropping on Sean Chandler's Talks About channel, the Masters of Movie Trivia Redemption Round. Both Ryan and I lost the first round, but we had a chance to come back for redemption. Pretty much everyone else who lost got a chance to come back to redeem themselves in this match. So guys, be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to Sean Chandler and ring that notification so you can don't listen to him. It was clearly me. But to find out who truly won, to find out who truly won, make sure, like I said, subscribe to Sean, ring the notification bell, and I'll let you guys know when that video drops. Once again, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Clockmaster out. Bye. There you go.